Hey everyone, it's SurrealBeliefs. Now before you leave a comment down below, please be sure to listen to the entire short video. That way you can make a better, more informed decision. Now to let you know, some mod broke my save file, which means in the future, I'm going to ensure that I use only a minimal amount of mods. I really hate leaving incomplete series, and I've played so many games, and I try to ensure that I finish every single thing. And again, if I had just gotten a little bit further, like let's say by part 12 or something where I've conquered Iberia, I've conquered Italy and all of that, then I would say, hey, look, I'm done. We can move on. All is fine. But I didn't really get as far as I would have liked. So what I did today, and I almost got ahead on recording. That would have been so cool because my goal is to not record 7 days a week, but to try to have one day off. And so I'm trying to do more work in each day in order to cover at least one day so I can rest. And unfortunately, after Baldur's Gate, I was done around like 1:50 p.m. my time zone, and I popped on, and then I found out that, hey, my save file no longer works. So I spent hours trying to rebuild it. But then I thought to myself, you know, it's not like Bannerlord or even Total War where I could get back to the same exact situation, position, and all of that, because I usually remember all of my decisions and choices pretty darn well. But here, you know, my family's a little bit different. I have roughly the same territory. The Pope was able to win over in Sicily, which is fine. And I was just going to move on from there. And Hannibal still hasn't died. He's actually in his 80s now. But I did a very quick poll, and I said, hey guys, would you like for me to go on, or would you like for me to pick someone new? And a majority of people said, hey, play someone new, go do something else. And I don't want to push on a series where I know most people are going to taper off, because I like storytelling and I like to kind of have a narrative, and I want you to care about what's going on in the game because I do as well. But here we technically have new children and new situations, so it's a little bit harder to do that in Crusader Kings 3. So here's what we're going to do, and here's what you really need to pay attention to before leaving any comment. Now, before you leave a comment saying, hey, play that, make a case on why I should play that for one. Why it would be interesting. And before I go on, I will have to take every single comment and I'll have to look at the game and say, can I do this in the game? If you come up with like some idea because you don't play the game and I can't do it in the game because you don't know better, then I'll have to pass on it. So even if it has like 500 upvotes, 300 upvotes, but I can't actually make that happen in the game, then I'll just have to move on to the next comment. But let's say you're someone who's like, hey, I want Surreal to play England. Before just commenting England, go check the comments, and if someone else left a comment with that, respond to them and upvote or thumbs up their comment. That way it ranks a little bit higher when I sort the comments by top comments. That way all of you can reinforce for each other what you would like to see. And you could state some country, you could state some religion, you could even state like some part of the world. Now we could do India, we could do the Middle East, we could do Europe, Iberia over here. We could do Africa. I mean, I don't really care. I'm really for whatever you guys want to see. And depending on what you want to see, I'll choose the time period. And like I said, I'll choose a very small set of mods, and I'll have a mod collection in part 1. And I'll probably record 2 parts in advance, and maybe I'll have like 2 parts out tomorrow. I haven't really decided, just to kind of make up for missing today. But I spent hours rebuilding the save file. But like I said, I then put up that poll, and I then realized that like, hey, I'm wasting my time here, and I just need to move on. So I'm probably going to take like a 30-minute break, drink some water, lift some weights, and just kind of clear my head and get ready. And I'm really keen to see what all of you want me to play next. You could also list a few interesting people. I know that someone, I think it's on a wiki page too, someone put together a list of like all the interesting characters that they've picked or people have put in that are located within Crusader Kings 3. So I'm going to link it down below in a video description. You could look at that and you could say, hey, I want you to play this guy and here's why, and I want you to use intrigue. Now, if it's like more of a concept and not one specific character, I could always like modify a character to fit our concept. I don't like to give myself like overpowered stuff, so I would just probably like look at the stats and like change it up. So like, let's say you're choosing a particular character, but you want me to like go in on intrigue, but that character is really good at diplomacy. So here's what I would do. I would swap out his, let's see, diplomacy score for intrigue, and his intrigue score would become his diplomacy score. That way, it would all be fair. It would just be like me moving numbers around to fit what people want me to play. And I like to have a challenge, and I was actually very much looking forward to going on. Like, the idea of losing that Holy War, I thought was very compelling and good storytelling too, because I haven't lost in any of my games yet. And so I'm a little bit annoyed, and that's why I am going to, again, and you can cut off the video now, but for those of you who are listening on, that is why I wanted to like press on, because the idea of our old Hannibal here dying and his son or his grandchild having to push on to try to like retake these lands, or to at least build up the Punic Empire, that way we could retake these lands, was very cool to me. Because Rome over here, and by the way, a dwarf pope took control, which I thought was incredible. He's the one over here who won. But he's so rich that he's able to hire just all the mercenaries in the world. So I've got to get like a huge army in order just to beat him. And I was unable to do that. And again, it was great storytelling, and I thought it was going to be very compelling. But we'll just do something new and move on. And please don't be mad, guys. Like, I really do take all of your comments to heart. We actually have like a very positive atmosphere. We have a very positive community. And I know there's always like some people who are like, rage against you. But those guys really don't get to me, because, I mean, you know, it's a sea of wholesome goodness. And just because there's a few turds, it doesn't really faze me or bother me. And that's just my way of saying thank you. I do read all of your comments. I don't always have time to respond, because I'm trying to have like more of a focus on my personal life. Because if you look at how much I do and how much I edit, I put out a lot of content, and I haven't had a lot of time for my personal life. And people just say, oh, do what you want. But like, I love what I do. I really do. Especially now. I was so burned out for so long, because I felt like I was stuck only playing like Total War and all of that. And it was really draining my soul and just any type of desire to keep on. I mean, like, I really thought I was going to like move on and quit. But now that I've like discovered that I can storytell, which I love to do. I've always enjoyed doing silly voices. I've always enjoyed the idea of putting together a narrative or whatever. I'm having so much more fun now. I'm having a great time. Anyway, I'm getting tongue-tied. I need to go drink some water. It's incredibly hot in my room. So I'm done for now. You guys are great. And again, just leave a comment. Until then, folks.